Start recording. We'll start letting everybody in. Hi, everybody. It's me and it's Julie and Julia. Isn't that a
Julie and
movie?
Julia
Is that a movie?
and a book.
And a book. And a book. Although you would definitely be the cook, I would be the one that would be trying to cook like you. So, so that could
I,
work.
I'm not going to attempt my Julia Child accent because
No,
I
I
spare us all
it's
that
me too. Doing that.
indignity. Yeah,
It's like, no, I don't
no.
do it either. So, today I'll probably be super quick. I've got, as I was sitting here, I was thinking of a couple things that I want to talk about too that are, I don't know if Tom talked about the one book that I'm going to talk about in a little bit. But we'll see. And then, I've got an oldie that, I know some of you like it when we pick ones that are sometimes our old favorites. Um, yes, good things do come in pairs, Mary Lou. I like the and I get called Julia a lot, or I get written in my emails get called Julia a lot.
And I get called Julie all the time,
Yeah. So
all the
it
time.
is it's just one of those things that happen. So it's all good things. Um so I got a new one, an old one, and then I was looking to see one that was like it's one of the bestsellers. Sometimes I like looking at Ingram to see like what's the best-selling books. And so this one was all I haven't read it yet, but it's intriguing. So I'll talk about that one in a little bit. We have a crazy couple weeks coming up with events. I think we have an event. I know we have an event every day this week, and sometimes two. And next week is the same. So tonight we've got Bruce Holsinger will be at the store. So as soon as I'm done here, I'm like dashing out and driving down to the store for Culpability. So can't wait. And he'll be in conversation with Seth Lair, who we adore. Tomorrow I'm going to be doing, I actually am doing I might actually be doing two conversations, but I'll be doing the conversation with Stephen Rowley for The Dogs of Venice. So this will be a fun one tomorrow night. And then we have Jen Hatmaker, which is sold out on Wednesday. We have local Leslie Knack Johansson on Thursday. We have Jocko and Dave Barrick on Friday. It's a busy week. It's a busy week, but it's what I live for. My husband was like, so always, like I said, every October. Every October is
Yeah.
like, tis the season of new books releasing. So with that, fall weather's hitting. And so lots of good releases coming out. So Julia, take it away.
Okay. Well, I know fall weather is about to slam right into us.
I know.
I, of course, don't have the right window up to share with you. Hang
No,
on.
that's all right. Yeah, it's all good. And I'm going to be doing because we are seriously solo. Amanda's not here, so I'm doing tech. I'm doing everything today. So if
You're
it's a
doing
little
it.
off, it's a little off. Oh, I
But
didn't know this was out today. Yay!
how could it be off? Because tomorrow, Reese Witherspoon and Harlan Coben's Gone Before Goodbye goes on sale. Um, I know some of you have heard us talking about this book because Julie did an amazing job of moderating a conversation between Reese and Harlan. They talked to a bunch of independent booksellers, and they were so delightful. And also, if you obviously like that was for independent booksellers, it was a private little enclosed group, but Julie did an awesome job talking to them. But if you were not in that group, which I assume most of you weren't, they have been on. They're going to be on all the morning talk shows. I think they were on GMA this morning, and then they're going to be on today and CBS this morning coming up tomorrow and the rest of the week. So you'll be able to see them chatting about this book. It's really fascinating. It's a thriller. And, Harlan Coben is such a wonderful author. He knows how to weave a tale and really keep you on your toes. And he and Reese worked, what we've learned is that they worked really hand in hand to do this and to create the characters and characters that you would love. And I was really struck by, I thought it was really interesting. I mean, I, like Julie, have run 100 million events in my life. And so, for me, listening to actors talk about their process is something that I don't actually get to listen to all that often. I listen to a lot of authors talk about their process. And so listening to Reese talk about like character development and building characters that like she wasn't going to play, and like what that sort of was like for her. It's a fascinating sort of endeavor and a great book. It really like grips you from beginning to end.
Absolutely. I mean, it literally it flies. It gets you. It's a really good it's a good Harlan Coben through. But she, I mean, what I found was interesting, and so I don't know if you any of you who read it, but some of the things that I thought that she would have been the one that created, he actually created, and the things that he created, when actually she created. So I thought that so sometimes if you're thinking about some of this stuff, it's like it might have been opposite of what you think. Which is one that I don't think I'm spoiling. Just the name of the father-in-law character, pork chop.
Right. Pork
I
chop.
was convinced that was Reese Witherspoon. it just sounded so Southern. It sounded like it was absolutely something that she would have been like, oh, that's the character's name. Nope, it was somebody who's actually a real person that Harlan Coben knew. So yeah. And she was we just hosted last week Claire Leslie Hall for Broken Country. That was a Reese Witherspoon pick. And so we had that fun little, we had a fun little chat about what Reese, and I mean, literally, I was on screen with her for 40 minutes doing a talk with her, but so I've got like the little modicum of, but she was just so genuine. She just is. So what you see is what you get. She was lovely. And so
Yeah,
I hope this skyrockets. I hope they write others. It's really a fun book. So take your time and read that one.
it is. Yeah, it's really fun.
Yeah, it's a good one. It's a good one for this time of year too, because you want sort of those thriller things. And Lori, no, we don't videotape our in-store events for a couple reasons. One, an author a long time ago was Geraldine Brooks, I think. She did not want us to record her live at the store because she said if people, won't come out if they think that they can see it live, which I kind of understand. But more importantly, it's more a tech issue. getting getting a recorded interview done well that looks good and having tech people to do it, we just don't have the technology for it. So we don't record our live ones, but he's lovely. I'm sure there's some conversations that he's done that you could see online because I bet he did something that's a recorded thing. So as I said, I'm running the tech, so you got to bear with me for 1 minute while I bring up what the book is that I want to talk about, which is a book called The Death of Us. And speaking of Claire, she was the one that recommended this book, and we actually were out of it at the store, and so I went to the library and borrowed it from the library, which is always an option. But there we go. So this is called The Death of Us. And while it seems like it would be, the story of maybe, a marriage falling apart, which is what it really is about, a marriage falling apart, but the catalyst of it is a serial killer. Oh yeah, Julia. It is, and he's kind of the serial killer, like who was the guy here in California that they couldn't catch all the time? I mean, that they took forever to catch, and who was a police
The Golden
oh
State.
yes, yes. So he would like the husband would be in the other room while he was, and so it's the story of this one couple that the serial killer um he doesn't kill them. He tortures and attacks the wife. But then he eventually starts killing people. So anyway, so I know it sounds like it's a brutal story, which it is, but it's really about this woman and her husband and how they manage their lives through this with this serial. So I think if you liked Bright Young Women, if you liked that book, I think this is right up your alley because I'm dying because I only have like 50 pages left and it's like she's starting to like really pace it up, but it's really good. So I can't remember if Tom talked about it. It came out in April. It's a Viking book, so it's one of Tom's books. But boy oh boy, let me tell you. It had me, and literally I started it I think maybe Saturday morning, and I'm like there I am, and I did other things this weekend, so it's a fast one too, but a really good I love my creepy books. It's a good creepy book, and she's the one that wrote Girl A, Abigail Dean. So she wrote Girl A. I never read that, which makes me want to go back and read it now, because she's a very good writer. So, The Death of Us. There we go. All right, what you got next, Julia?
Okay, my next one is another, it's a big boy. This is a memoir. It is, of course, the 50th anniversary of the Rocky Horror Picture Show this year. It is also the 40th anniversary of the seminal classic Clue. And this is Tim Curry's memoir, Vagabond. I really liked this memoir a whole lot. I feel like Tim Curry, I had the most fun while I was selling this book. I had the absolute most fun hearing buyers tell me what their favorite Tim Curry movie was. And like, depending on the age range, like, yeah, some were definitely Rocky Horror, some were Clue, but then there was like the Muppets Treasure Island. Like, there's like, and he does a lot of voiceover work. He does a voice in, I think it was in Fern Gully, The Last Rainforest. He does one of the, so it's just like, I feel like even when you start looking through Tim Curry's like catalog of like what he has done, some people are musical theater people, so they will like spam a lot, and so it was just like such a ride. And I was like, oh, right, he is in all of these movies. Like, oh my God, Home Alone 2, Lost in New York.
Yep.
He's just like such a delight. And this is just a great book. And it's a great book about just like living a life as an artist. So you may have seen him on some of the talk shows. He's been making the rounds. A few years ago, he had a pretty serious stroke. So he's now in a wheelchair, but is still, sharp as a tack and is still chatting with people he's been on a couple of the different like news shows, talking to, I think, CBS and NBC. And it's just been a delight. And it's a delight to read. And I think, I don't know, I'm always interested in listening to people talk about their life as an artist, because I think there's parts of it that are really scary and there's parts of it that are really insecure, but also like this, what is it to like be a creative for your whole life? I think it's a really great book for
Oh
that.
yeah. And he is, to your point, just like so multifaceted in
Yeah,
what he can do and what he does. I love him. I
I
love
know.
him. He seems like he's one of those, like, kind of like a Reese Witherspoon, just like a genuine kind of guy that would just be like, that's how he
Totally.
comes across. Yeah.
And I feel like too, like you don't realize how often you've seen him. Like,
Right.
and then you start to think about like, oh yeah, he's in that. Oh, he's in that. Oh, he's in that. And you're just
Yeah.
like, oh my God, like Tim Curry has been here my whole life. It's so
Yeah, he really has been. But I have to say, for me, it's got to be Rocky Horror. I mean, I'm of that age of, I was around when it was before it became the cult thing that it became, when it was the original.
well, I saw it for the first time when I was a freshman in high school at a midnight showing, and I never looked back.
Right.
I too, Rocky Horror and Clue are
Yeah.
tied for me.
Yeah, because
Clue
what
is,
did he do? He did Clue, but didn't he do another Agatha Christie? Did he do another? I think he might have. I don't
I
know.
think he did, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and he's got that great British accent, and I feel like sometimes you get those British actors that are just like,
Yeah. Well, and I didn't know he had a stroke. That's very sad. Yeah.
yeah, just a few years ago, not
Yeah.
that long ago.
Oh.
But he's still, like it's really fun to listen to him talk and tell stories about, his career and his life and stuff. So
Yeah. All right. This is the old one I'm talking about. And I can't remember, Tom and I might have talked about this a while ago. I can't remember. People who are watching might be able to tell me. But this is Hunting and Gathering by Anna Gavalda, 2004. And this is one of those books that it was, I think, a French bestseller. It's an international bestseller. Um, Reminiscent a little bit of oh, I'm blanking on it now. The Europa book from ages ago. I can't think of it. Elegance of a Hedgehog-ish. You know, it's
I think
about
so.
these four. Were you thinking of that? So it was just like, that's another great one. Um, but this is just four unlikely people that their lives intersect and they become, friends and how they navigate through life. It's just a great character book. I just remember loving so don't ask me for specifics because I read this close to 2004. So but I just remember the feeling that the book gave me, and it was just one of those books that it was just like, oh, this is just really good. It was really good characters. It's a little bit of a tome, it's and I'm not sure we have any in the store right now, but we certainly ordered. Yeah, it's 481 pages, but it's so good. And so it is a Riverhead book, which Riverhead has always been one of those people that, one of those publishers that picks great books. And so I think that if you haven't already read Hunting and Gathering, there's a little store in Laguna Beach, and I think Adrian was the one that like told me this story, our previous buyer. Um, there's a little store in Huntington Beach that sold like 1,000 copies of this thing. And this was back maybe like 10 years ago. So it's a good book club book. It's just one of those, yeah, that I was like, okay, what can I talk about today? I think I'll talk about Hunting and Gathering. So there you go.
Cool.
Yeah.
I love those little books that keep going and going.
Yeah, exactly. Kind of like our little frog book that we put on the shelf,
Yes.
selling and selling and selling.
Yes.
All right, what's your next one, Julia?
Okay, well, I apologize that I'm a week late in this, but I was in Colorado at a trade show last week, so I couldn't come on to present this, and I was sad about it. But of course, we have
Oh,
to talk
yes.
about the showgirl herself. This is Stephanie Burt's Taylor's version, the poetic and musical genius of Taylor Swift. So, Stephanie Burt is a professor at Harvard University. She teaches poetry. She has a PhD in poetry. And she wrote this. This is an incredible book. It doesn't matter whether or not you like Taylor Swift,
Right.
no matter what your thoughts about the new album are. And I know people have
Have thoughts?
varying thoughts, many thoughts about it. This book, so Stephanie Burt teaches a class at Harvard on Taylor Swift and the poetics of Taylor Swift's lyrics. And this book really breaks down, like in a literary criticism kind of way. Um, it really breaks down like how Taylor Swift's lyrics work and why they work. It breaks it down musically, why her music works. So if you're someone who like, even if, like I said, even if you don't like Taylor Swift, like if you're interested in how we use language to convey message, like this book is for you because she really talks about like how Taylor Swift is using these poetic techniques in order to create music that connects with people. It's fascinating. It's like it's not academic, like it's not like super hard to get through, but it is a little more sort of rigorous than I think a lot of books about Taylor Swift have been so far. And yeah, it's just an amazing book. And Stephanie Burt is like a well-renowned poet and poetry critic, and she had a book come out this summer called Super Gay Poems that did really, really well for people. So, she's not like an unknown person writing about this. She's definitely got credentials, and it shows in the writing and how she puts together this. I mean, it's kind of like she's telling a story about how Taylor Swift tells stories, and it's great.
I love and you did okay, this is that gift book.
Yeah,
This is
totally.
that gift book that you can buy because more people than you think are Swifties. And I do think it's fascinating because okay, look, she didn't just become this what she is in this icon by creating bad music. Okay. It's like
Right.
there is something that's going on there.
Well, and I think I was having a conversation about Taylor Swift with a friend of mine who we grew up playing music together, so we have opinions about music. And
We have opinions.
yeah, and we were talking, and he was kind of like, I don't know if I'm like convinced that I like her, that she's good or whatever, and I was like, the thing is that like, and I quoted this book where I was just like, I mean, she is actually using real poetry techniques, like whether she knows it or not, whether she's trying to or not, like, those are different questions. But
Right.
like, these are real poetry techniques, and she uses them masterfully.
Right.
And so whether or not that connects with you is a different question, but like, it is a great sort of like breakdown of how lyrics work and how music works.
But I think that it to that though is obviously why it attracts so many people on so many levels. That
Yeah,
it's not a Britney Spears pop star thing, or it's not
right.
a I mean Britney's got an iconic thing too, but it's she has crossed this level of every demographic of person that I mean, I'm always cracking up at seeing who is, people pop up on my feed. They're at the Taylor Swift concert. I'm like, really? You? Okay. Okay. I kind of love it. So, all right. But I think that that is a easy gift book to give to people. I think that's an easy
Totally.
one. Okay, Lori, I'm going to tell you about yeah, okay, Dee's on here too. It is a commitment. The owner of our store, Nancy Warwick, is reading it. And I think that I'm not sure if she's finished or not. I haven't talked to her since she first started it, but she was loving it at the beginning. So I think that it is worth and The Inheritance of Loss, I think, was her other book that she wrote. So I think that, she's an excellent writer. And I think it is going to be one of those books that we're all going to be hearing about as a book of the year kind of thing.
I
Um,
mean, Kieran Desai, read
yeah,
read anything she'll write.
yeah, okay. So
She's
that's
phenomenal.
yeah. So I do think, yes, it is a commitment, but I love those doorstop books. I think they're great. I don't know if you have a fourth book, Julia. I'm going to talk about one that I haven't read yet, but that I'm going to tell you about real quick.
I
Because
pulled the fourth one as
um,
as we've been chatting.
okay, because I'm going to talk to you about let's see if I can pull it up here. Um, let's see. Let's see if my okay. I've not read this book, but I'm seeing it everywhere. And I'll keep the suspense low for you guys here because I'm trying to do the tech and everything else today. I think I'm doing a pretty good
I feel
job.
like it's working.
I think it's working. I Who Have Never Known Men. And I don't know that anybody on here has ever talked about it. But it's one of the top bestsellers on iPage, Julia. So I was like, okay, and I've been seeing it other places. So it's described as Ursula K. Le Guin meets the road, an apocalyptic modern classic of female friendship and intimacy. Deep underground, 39 women live imprisoned in a cage, watched over by guards. The women have no memory of how they got there, no notion of time, and only a vague recollection of their lives before. I don't know. Looked interesting. Looks like one that I do want to read. So, yeah.
I've heard a lot of great things about this book.
Have you? Okay.
Yeah, and I was actually just looking up who the publisher is of this new edition, but I didn't get there before I
Yeah,
started
I don't
talking
know.
again. But yeah, it is. I've heard a lot of great things. Um, and
It says it's Transit Books, and I think that's a
yeah, and
consortium title.
actually, here's where I read about it.
Okay.
So, Carmen Maria Machado,
Hmm.
who wrote Her Body and Other Parties, along with a number of other books. She wrote for the New Yorker an article about how this has become a TikTok sensation. And
Okay.
Carmen Maria Machado is a person that I will read. Literally, if she writes the phone book, I'll read it. She's so awesome. So there's a great New Yorker piece here. Oh, did you find it?
No, I just put the book in.
Oh, here, let me link to it. This
Okay.
great New Yorker piece that Carmen Maria Machado wrote about it. And I think, yeah, I think it's like been making the rounds on TikTok.
Okay, that's
Uh,
it. Because I did see that it's from 2022, so it's
oh,
not
whoops,
a new book.
I didn't send that to everyone. Hang on, that was just to hosts and panelists.
Okay.
But yeah, so this is uh, been a TikTok
Okay.
phenomenon, but it did come out quite a long time ago.
Yeah.
So
So 2022. So it was
yeah.
just one I was just like, okay, what's popular on iPage? And that popped up and I was like, oh, that is one that I've been seeing. So that's where I've been seeing it is on Book Talk and stuff. So there you go.
Cool.
So I have never known men. We'll see how that is. If somebody reads it, let us know
Yeah.
how it goes. All right, what's your last one? We got
Okay. So my last one, this is a great, it's a smaller novel. Um, it's a, but it is just a gorgeous novel. I mean, first of all,
oh,
that
I okay,
cover.
that cover. Come on.
So this is And I'll Take Out Your Eyes by
Oh,
A.M.
I love the
Sosa,
title. The title and the
right?
cover.
So, for those of you who are Californians, you may or may not know of a small town called Stockton, California. Often,
I
often
have
at the
family who lives in Stockton.
yes, and
Don't we
often,
all?
California can we can turn our noses up at some things about our own state, and sometimes it's places like Stockton. And but what I love about this book is that the author is from Stockton. Um, the author is Latino queer author, and this is a story. It reminded me a little bit of Justin Torres's book We the Animals. Um, it's a story of a young, like a coming of age story of this queer boy, Latino boy, growing up in an immigrant farm working family and sort of what he faces. It's there are places that it's hard, definitely, but it's also like hopeful and lovely. In other places, it's I cannot overstate how gorgeously written it is. Like it is has language you just sink into. It's a beautifully written novel. And I think a novel I'm always interested in, particularly when it comes to California. I'm a third generation Californian. And I'm always interested in the parts of California that sort of get forgotten. Because I think a lot of times when we talk about California, we're talking about LA, San Francisco,
A lot of the coast.
the
The
coast,
coast.
yeah, San Diego, like the coast of California.
Right.
And we're not talking about places like Stockton, which, in a lot of ways are the backbone of the state.
Yep.
And so and the Latino community in those places, which the Latino community makes up the majority of the
For sure.
population in
The
places
migrant
like
workers
Stockton.
up that whole Central Valley.
Exactly. And so I think it's timely, it's complicated, it's gorgeous, it's hard, it's beautiful, it's all of the things you want in a debut novel. And so yeah, and it's a debut. So I always want to try to champion my debut authors
I
because we need authors with careers moving forward. And
a
so yeah,
1000%. And it's really good. So I mean, I have family that goes all up that Central Valley, starting in Fresno, heading on up. Spent many a drive vacation from LA, getting up at 4 o'clock in the morning, driving up that Central Coast through
sure,
Bakersfield,
sure.
through that grapevine. So yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
it's
yeah. And I think, as someone who grew up on the coast, but often was in Sacramento and up in the mountains and stuff like that, it's like these are places you sort of go through. And so you know where they are.
right.
You've maybe stopped for lunch or gas, but this is like really kind of takes you into the roots of those communities. And they're just as interesting and complicated and beautiful and ugly as every
Right.
other
Well, I
community.
think Tom had a book
So
called Paris about Paris,
yes.
that whole myriad of Paris Valley, that
Yep.
whole Hemet, that whole area in there too has the same sort of thing.
Yeah.
Um, okay, Kim, you just finished the Ken Follett. I loved the Ken Follett.
Yay. I'm so excited.
I know. I just think he did we had a little discussion about it at the store. And like I said, I think that because somebody was a little like, oh, he used this word. And I said, yeah, but I said, first of all, we have no recorded record of how people were talking back in 5000 BC or whenever those stones were like moved. And so I think he did a brilliant job in just basically using our language today to tell the story of what was happening back in, and trying to make that whole thing up. So I think he did a great job. I'm glad. I hope you loved it because I thought it was really good. Oh, you did an audio too. I think it was good. Okay, D, I see that you raised your hand. In all my years of doing Zoom and everything, I have no idea how to deal with what that even means when somebody raises their hand. So if you have a question and you want to pop it into the into the chat. Because I don't know what the raised hand thing is. I've learned a lot in the technology over the years, but that's one that I still am like, I don't know what that means.
I also will say if you read Ken Follett's Stonehenge and you need an activity to do, um, look at what we have. Build your own Stonehenge.
No way. Oh my God, that's hilarious.
So if you need something to play with at your desk, it's
I
there
love that so
for
much.
you.
Can we order it from the store for people?
Of course.
Oh yeah,
Of
you got to
course.
drop the ISBN number at least into the chat so we can like see what that thing is. That is hilarious. Um,
I'll put the Warwick's link up.
that's on my list too, Lori, Boy from the Sea. That's on my, I can tell you exactly where it's at upstairs. I've always wanted to read that one too. I want to read that one. Um, oh, does the dog hit the computer? No idea what he did. D, I love it. Okay, so we're both technology. It's like, so I will lower your hand. That's pretty funny. Um, yeah, Stonehenge was well, and like I said, I read it as we were going to, or I was either right before, or right after we actually went to Stonehenge. So that was super exciting and super fun to like have Ken Follett kind of narrate and seeing, because at Stonehenge they kind of recreated what I think they think how they moved the stones. And so when he was describing it, it's like, oh yeah, and the where they recreated that is it was pretty interesting. It was pretty amazing. All right. I think that's it. I think we did it, Julia.
Yeah.
It's the Julie and Julia show.
Julie and Julia. Yep.
Julie and Julia, we did it. I think we gave everybody some thank you, Dee. I think
Thank
we gave everybody some great suggestions for some fall books. I'm telling you, The Death of Us. I can't wait. I'm gonna like I have to go down to what's his name's book to which I'm very excited about, don't get me wrong. Bruce Holsinger, but I kind of wish I was sitting at home finishing my book too. So
I
anyways,
understand.
I don't know. Happy reading, everybody. Julia, thanks for coming on, and we will see everybody next week. Bye.